Hello, everyone. Welcome to Nathan Talk Sports. This will be a conference tournament edition for college basketball. And I'll predict the conference tournaments and what bubble teams need to do to get into the tournament. Starting off, ACC locks Duke and North Carolina. UNC beat Duke to secure their status as a lock. And on the bubble, Notre Dame. They probably safe anyways, but to be sure, I think they should try to win their quarterfinal. Miami beat BC or Wake beats BC. The only thing Miami cannot have is a bad loss right now. I think they're above the cut line solidly. May slip to Dayton if there's a bid thief or two, too many, but they should get in. And a bad loss, the only thing that will stop them. Wake Forest beat Boston College and not have an insane amount of bid thieves. They're in a slightly worse position than Miami, but not terribly worse. They're more likely to end up in Dayton, but they should get in as long as they beat BC on Wednesday. Virginia Tech get to at least the ACC tournament final. They have a really good net ranking, but nothing else in their resume, and they're going to be out unless they get some wins. And Virginia, pretty much the same thing. They got to get to at least the ACC tournament final. And they could actually play each other in the semi in a virtual playing game to get to a playing game. So basically 2 playing games to get to the main draw. My sleeper team, Florida State. They're almost always in the tournament, struggling this year, but they have talent. And 2 through 9 in the ACC are definitely threats to win it if Duke has an off night. My predicted winner? This is why they weren't my sleeper. They're my winner, Virginia. They're always in the tournament, always a high seed. They won't be a high seed this year, but I think they will win their conference tournament to get in. I just feel like someone's going to win this that isn't Duke. I just have that sixth sense. And why not go with the team that's won the most over the past 10 years? All right, the A10. There are no locks in this conference, which is rare. And on Bubble Watch, Davidson, the top team. Getting the final should be enough. Semifinal will leave them right on the cut line. Watch out for bid thieves if they lose then. Quarterfinal, they're out because that's a bad loss. And some other teams have some bigger issues, though. VCU need to get to the final to have a chance, especially because they would knock Dayton out of the at-large picture. So that could be another virtual play-in game to get to a playing game, if you know what I mean. Dayton getting the final would likely do it, despite the bad losses, especially with the win over VCU, if it is VCU. That's a big if. If it is not VCU in the semis, they need to win the A10 tournament, and they definitely have the talent to do it. And even if they beat VCU, and the 8, 9, 12, or 13 seed makes it to the final, they need to win that because they have lots of bad losses. 3 quad 4 and a very low quad 3 that could become a quad 4. They need to do everything they can. They might be better off winning the auto bid anyways because that's a black mark. All right. St. Bonaventure needs to get the final and have no bid thieves. Murray State, Loyola Chicago did them a favor, and they need a miracle. My sleeper is St. Louis, a team that has the talent to win it, and the A10 is known for bid thieves, but I have a different winner. I have St. Bonaventure winning the tournament and getting themselves off any semblance of the bubble by winning the tournament. They've clearly the most talented team in the A10 preseason, and they'll finally live up to the expectation and make it into the tournament. And you never know what they can do. They have talent. All right, the American. Houston is a lock on the bubble. SMU. Final will do it on all likelihood. Semifinal will probably do it as well, but if the loss is to Memphis, if the loss is to the 6, 11, 7, or 10 seeds, it might be a bigger issue. Lost the quarterfinal would likely leave them out because they wouldn't get a quality win chance and it would be a bad loss. Memphis, final means they are in. And SMU in the semifinal would likely mean Memphis is in. That is a huge season sweep over Houston. Enormous. My sleeper, this isn't that much of a sleeper, but it's a 3-team tournament to me. SMU is my sleeper because they're the 3rd seed. They need a big run to get the at-large, at least to the semifinal. They have the talent to do it. My winner is Houston, the best overall team, and they're not losing to Memphis a 3rd time. I just can't see it. Big Ten. It's probably the 2nd most quad 1 conference, which is basically quality win, almost everywhere. There's another conference I'll get to later that is quality wins everywhere. Locks, Illinois, Wisconsin, Purdue, Iowa, Ohio State, Michigan State. Bubble watch, Rutgers. Win their quarterfinal would secure their spot. There's no way you can get rid of all those good wins if they can not pick up another bad loss. I believe they have 6 quad 1 wins. And a couple of bad losses, though, could hurt them, especially if they lose to the 12-13 game winner, which would mean they beat Iowa. So you'd get a hot team, 2 straight wins, and you never know what could happen in these tournaments. That is a loss Rutgers cannot afford to take. Michigan beat Indiana. They will be in. They did really well to go 3-2 without Juwan Howard. Indiana beat Michigan to get any shot. Beat Illinois to secure a spot. Is that simple? Sleeper, Michigan State. It's March. Izzo wins games in March. They can always win any tournament in March. My winner is Purdue. They're a complete team, the best overall Big Ten team, and I think they'll secure the conference title. They could be an outside play for a 1 seed in the Big Dance, but I don't think so, but they could get the 2 in the Midwest, which would help them a lot. Indy, Chicago would be a good route for them. Big 12, hell on earth. Quad 1s basically everywhere. Locks, Baylor, Kansas, Texas Tech, Texas, TCU, Iowa State. That's 6 locks of 9 teams. It's 9 because the teams in Oklahoma State is ineligible. So 60% of the conference is a lock, and 67% of the eligible conference is a lock. That's insane for a 10-team conference where they've eaten each other alive. Oklahoma's on the bubble. Get to the Big 12 final. Get to an additional game above 500. That means they'd go 2-1 because their overall record is the biggest thing holding them back. They have quality wins, of course. It's the Big 12. You have to. Even the worst teams have them. Well, all of them, actually. There was no Georgetown or Oregon State in that conference. But I believe they're 16-14. 17-15 will not be enough, likely. 18-15 could be enough. I think it should be in that conference. Sleeper, Iowa State. Iowa State has 9 quad 1 wins, and everything's a quad 1 game, I believe, from here on out. I'm not sure about Kansas State and West Virginia, though, but I believe Iowa State's on the other side of the bracket for that. And by the time they get those, they'd have 2 quad 1 wins and get to the top 50 anyways. So that would be a quad 1 win. Iowa State has 9 quad 1 wins. Reminder, they had 2 total wins last season. One of the best stories in college basketball. My winner is Texas Tech, really coming on strong as of late, and even without Chris Beard, the machine keeps chugging along. Right, the Big East. Very interesting conference tournament. My locks, Villanova, UConn, and Marquette. Bubble watch. This Creighton should be in regardless, but a win over Marquette would secure their bid. Seton Hall's almost certainly in, and I'm not sure if they should be on my bubble watch, but losing to Georgetown would be an embarrassing loss. Committee would be like, shit, I'm throwing them out of the fucking tournament. Yeah, I'm serious. They're like an 8 or a 9, but could be well out of it. With the way the committee might think. That would be an embarrassing loss. Cannot happen. St. John's needs to get to the final, get those 2 quality wins over Nova and UConn, and they'll have a chance. Xavier, gotta beat Butler. That would be one banana peel too many for them. And they've slipped on a lot of them lately. They're 2-7 in their last 9. They were in the top 20 a month ago. We were talking about being a 4 seed. They're like Dayton right now, at least. Maybe out. Win over Butler would secure their spot because they can't pick up another bad loss. And a loss would send them to the NIT. So this is basically a play-in game for another play-in game, at least. They might escape the play-in game, though. Sleeper, St. John's. Gotten better as the season gone on, and they need to reach the final, at least. They might fuck around and win it. Yeah. Might win it. They won't, though. I think it will be Villanova. Best team in the conference. Lost the regular season title on win percentage, which is something I'm going to be very happy that this won't apply next year. There's been a few of these titles that have been decided by winning percentage. It's a better team, extremely motivated. They want the best chance of playing a possible regional in Philly. And they need to win this to secure a 3 spot or a 2 spot. A high 2 spot would likely leave them in Philly. Winning the Big East tournament could do that for them. If they can go Pittsburgh, Philly, that will be such an enormous advantage. CUSA, no locks. But North Texas is on the bubble. Getting to the final and losing to UAB should get them in. UAB probably need to win it, but losing the final to North Texas may give them a shot. My sleeper, Western Kentucky. They're the type of team that wins conference tournaments in surprise fashion on a relatively frequent basis. They did it in the Sun Belt a few times. Remember one time they were a 16 seed once they won the conference tournament, playing 4 games in 4 days, and they gave Kansas a scare. They were my pick to win the title that year. They gave them a scare. I believe it was 2014 or 15. But I remember in 2008, the first time I really watched college basketball, I remember they won another tournament like that. They weren't a 16 though, but they won against Drake in the first round in an absolute classic. All right, on to business. Predicted winner, North Texas. Best team in the conference. No more bubble talk for them. They're getting in, and they could be dangerous. Mountain West, locks, Boise State and Colorado State. Bubble, San Diego State. In all likelihood, they need to avoid the catastrophic loss to get in, but they are on the side of the bracket where those losses may be, and that's a sign of concern. Wyoming, beating UNLV would secure their spot, and even a loss they should still be in, but Dayton would be likely with a loss. Sleeper, UNLV. They're at home, which is rare for conference tournaments at this magnitude. They have a bye as well. 3 wins at home court, possible. They've been better of late as well. They're not that bad of a team. They're not a bubble team, but they're not bad. They could get in. My winner, though, Colorado State. Best overall team and basically the only contender not having any sign of struggle. They're 24-4. All right, Pac-12 locks, Arizona, UCLA, USC. Okay, there's one team on the bubble, and I'm not sure if they should be there. They probably need to win the tournament. Oregon has to make it to at least the final, but this is trouble. Will Richardson, their leading scorer, is out. They'll beat Oregon State, but Colorado maybe should be on the fringe of the bubble themselves, but they have to at least reach the final to do that as well. Although they probably need to win it to get in. But Oregon without the leading scorer, I don't think they can do it. My sleeper, Arizona State, won 7 of the last 8 despite a disappointing overall season. They're playing at the classic Big 12, Pac-12 bid thief. Similar to Oregon State last year, who fucked around, made the tournament, won the tournament, made the Pac-12, win the Pac-12 tournament, and got to the Elite Eight as a 12 seed. Oregon has a couple of teams that made deep runs as low seeds as well. SEC, tough conference. 2 top seed contenders, a bunch of contenders for top 4 seed lines. Locks, Auburn, Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, LSU, Alabama. All in, all top 8 seeds easily. But watch Florida, beating Texas A&M, a must. Win over Auburn would be extremely helpful, but they may or may not need it. They could easily be sent to Dayton without that win over Auburn. Texas A&M, speaking of them, they need to make it to the final to have a shot, but they would likely not need to win the auto bid because of those 2 elite wins they'll pick up. And a solid win over Florida, knocking them out. A bubble consideration. Sleeper Alabama struggled a bit down the stretch, but they were great last year, and they were great for large portions of this year. It's a very solid team, elite potential. Pretty winner, Kentucky. Oscar Tshiebwe, best player in college basketball, can lead them to a title. Not just the SEC, but nationally. Other sporting news. I'll do this quickly. MLB has canceled more... Sorry for the voice crack. MLB has canceled more games. 2 more series because they can't agree on anything. Right now, it's an international draft. It was the owner's fault for about 3 months, but I think it's the players' fault now. The players had to agree to an international draft to get rid of the qualifying offer, which is the bane of their existence as players. They hate it. It destroys the whole free agent market. All they had to do was implement an international draft, which would affect 0, I repeat, 0 of the 1,200 members of the MLBPA. Really? I thought the owners bitching and moaning over $8 million was bad. When they lost $8 million or more with all these canceled games, but this is worse. And the owners were bad. All right, NFL news. Aaron Rodgers was signed a contract with the Green Bay Packers, but Russell Wilson has been traded to the Broncos for a couple of players and a bunch of draft picks. Seahawks are rebuilding. Carson Wentz traded to the Commanders. That was a disaster for the Colts. Cost them a first-round pick and didn't even make the playoffs with it, in large part due to Wentz shit in the bed the last few games. But they're moving on, and they could get Kenny Pickett, Matt Corral, Desmond Ridder, Malik Willis, all the quarterbacks. They are in the market for a quarterback. I have no doubts. They could also trade for Jimmy G, but I'm actually not sure if the 49ers will do it, because he was decent in the playoffs. But Jimmy G has already led the team to a Super Bowl and an NFC title game. And you don't need an elite quarterback to win it. You just need a solid one. We've seen that with people like Nick Foles and Eli Manning. Fuck Eli. Right, NBA, Lakers are falling apart. They might miss the play-in. Nets, they should get into the play-in, especially when they get Ben Simmons back. And Kyrie might be able to play home games soon, once the vaccine mandate's lifted. And that's about all, guys. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.